Not long ago I was watching a upload from Sean Cameron from his new railway plot, and he was in the shed together with another plot holder named Jim, who was a keen bird watcher, and it was a simple setup, just the camera focused on the feeder, and it's amazing the different varieties of the birds what come. And it was while watching that I thought about, now's the time, the birds are starting to put the best clothes on and trying to attract a mate. There'll be soon be time for breeding, so if you've got nest boxes, just have a peek inside and just make sure they're clean. I'm not sure how well the camera will show this up, it's really dark inside, but that's remains of last year's occupancy, and which is a family of bloated. You can see from the size of that, quite a bit of effort and then quite a number of journeys with nesting material. They do a marvellous job. When putting up a nest box, the sighting and orientation is quite important. I tend to fit mine around north-east and have a good success rate with that. You should never ever fit one facing south, although 99% of the birds have got a good GPS system and they'll know this for a fact, but if they do ever nest in there, there's a good chance during the summer months they'll actually fry the young. Just a quick little update on the hotbed, the first one you saw us doing in the last episode. That's all up and running now. I'll just flick the lid up, I don't know if you'll be able to see inside. And there we have six trays, 40 cells, so 240 potential seedlings will be coming up in there. I'll just put the lid back down, keep them going. I'm not sure if you'll see this because it's tucked under the shelf, but the new thermostat for the little propagator has arrived, and I must admit I'm very impressed with it. When the thermostat arrived, I unpacked it and saw the instructions. It was an A4 sheet but very tiny, and try as I might I could not figure out how it meant, because the thermostat actually controls heat and controls cold. You can have it in two modes. So I tried 3 or 4 times, couldn't work it out, so went onto the website, found the customer service number, gave it a ring, explained what I'd got, and I was halfway through saying one of the temperature controlled thermostats, and the guy says, "You're having trouble with the instructions?" I said, "Yes." And I says, "Is there any chance you could walk me through it for one time?" And he says, "I can do better than that. Give me your email address." So I passed his email, my email address on to him, and by the time I put the phone down, checked my email, in my inbox was a set of instructions in plain English, about 6 steps, and I was up and running. This is the second hotbed I've got, just to put it in the picture. Originally this was used just for the ambient heat. The metal grid there, the mesh, the plant trays or pots stood on the top, and it just gathered the heat coming up off the cables below. It's not very efficient, that isn't, it loses quite a lot of heat. I have got the wood already cut to build the box. It's thicker ply, marine ply, same as the first one we looked at, but rather than waste time building that and setting that up, what I'm going to do as a temporary measure for this year is just lift these grids off, clear the bottoms out, take all the wood supports from round the edges, and I'm going to use it, fill it with vermiculite, and I'll use that for a temporary one for this season. After a bit of brute force and more ignorance, I've removed the battens from around the edges, and it's ready now to take the vermiculite. You see this yellow tape, yellow gaffer tape? What that is, it's just covering up holes that I'd previously drilled in, and that was for drainage because there was nowhere for the water to go when I watered. So get the vermiculite in. Well, that's as far as I can go with this one, because believe it or not, I've run out of vermiculite. I think there's 11 bags in here, so probably another 2 or 3 and that'll be it. So Poundland, watch out. I managed to find another 1 more bag of vermiculite, and that seems to have done the trick. And in the meantime, I've got a little bit of twin wall polycarb which I've ripped down, and that'll act as a top. So at the end of the season the box will actually get binned and I'll fit the cable in a new case. Can you believe it? I'm trying to free up a bit of room already in the greenhouse. These are the Dahlia tubers that are stored from last year. Well, I did, I put them in they've been in the greenhouse as is, they haven't been covered up or nothing. They've just been tipped upside down in these grow rings. So I'm just going to inspect them now, remove any squidgy fingers, and then I might pot them up. Well, considering these have been standing in a few nights where it's at -5, -6, they look pretty good. Just feeling them there. This one a bit murky there, but all in all, that's doing pretty good. The Dahlias have cleaned up quite nicely, and there's only 1 or 2 little tubers that I had to remove which was soft. I just put them into this cardboard box now with a bit of newspaper underneath, and I've got some old compost still in the potato bucket outside, so I'm just going to lightly pour some over there, not completely cover them, just enough to wake them up in effect, and we'll see how they go. I'll keep them in the greenhouse, and if there's a risk of frost I might even put a bit of newspaper over the top. And as if by magic, there we are. I did have 1 spare over, so I've just popped that in the pot. So these are just lying in the greenhouse now, ticking over, and I'll leave them to their own devices. Now we've got a little more room, I've been able to lay the trays of potatoes out whilst they're chitting. I will cover these with a bit of fleece should we have a bit of frost, but I think that'll be alright. I didn't show you before, these are the strawberry plants, the bare roots ones are there, I've just potted them up. There's actually 31. I'm about to sow some musselburgh leeks now. This is quite a deep pot, as you can see, because they'll be in here a while before they grow. And also there's, because there's large holes in the bottom, I'll put a bit of kitchen roll in, that'll eventually rot away. This is just a multi-purpose compost that I'm putting a base layer in, and in this case it's the clover. Before sowing the seed, I've added about an inch layer of seed compost, the F2&S. It's just to sow the seed in to get it going, then once it's established, because it'll be in a long while, then it'll go down to the multi-purpose compost which will have more food in. I'll finish it off with a light covering of vermiculite, and this will be staying in the cold greenhouse on the allotment. And I've just got an old propagator lid on the top just to keep a bit of heat in. This is a new one from seed for me, although last year I did have one plant which produced some decent sized fruits. This was kindly donated by another couple of the plot holders. It's the Corno di Toro series. There's the Giallo or Giallo, which is the yellow, and the Rosso, which is the red. I'll be sowing these in a quarter tray, which I've divided in the middle with a little plastic plant label, and also put a label on each end just to see which side is which. These will be going in the heated propagator, which is set at about 17-18 degrees for the onions, although ideally these would like a bit higher temperature. So what I intend on doing is popping a little propagator lid on top of this, then putting it inside the propagator. I'll just show you before I cover the tray with vermiculite. One good thing with these larger seeds, you can actually space the seeds out quite evenly. So there's 8 in there. I'll just give a little covering with vermiculite now, then on with the cover. The final sowing for this one is an onion called Tosca, which I've never grown before. I had the seeds from Nick's Allotment. I've had them about 2 years and I've never even tried them. So I'll be putting these in F2S with a bit of vermiculite. Vermiculite on the top, then straight into the propagator. Looking online, the onion is very similar to the Zabroon banana type shallot, but it looks actually a bit bigger. So we'll see how they go. Well, that's it, all done. This will be going into the propagator with the other onion seeds. Well, that's me finished for sowing for today. We've had a really good day. The sun's starting to go down now and it's starting to drop a bit. Then I've finally done a list of all the seeds that I'll be growing for this season. Apart from the potatoes, I've put a little slideshow together showing you what I will be growing. So I hope you enjoy it, and there's a little old favourite included as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. There is quite a lot of different seeds there, particularly onions. You can never have too many onions, and I'm sure if I've got surplus I can offload them quite easily. That's about it for this one then, so until next time, I'll see you later. Bye for now.